Angie Martz. I'm the president of AAF Roanoke this year, and I'd like to welcome you to our lunchtime program. Carrie will be introducing our speaker here in just a moment, but I just wanted to give you a heads up on a couple of events that are coming up. So keep your eye out for emails for a February 14th networking event. We know it's Valentine's Day, so you are more than welcome to bring your spouse, and if you need child care, we are going to have that available. The event is from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Southwest Virginia Ballet. So keep an eye out for that. It is a free event we will be providing food, but there will be a cash bar. And then the second thing, and one we're all probably getting really excited about, is our American Advertising Awards Gala, which is going to take place on Saturday, March 4th at the Roanoke City Market Building. And time and ticket information will be released here in the next week or so. So hopefully you all can make that you sent in your award entries, and I hope that we have some fantastic awards and creative that we can look at this year and just be really proud of. So I just want to welcome you, and I'm going to turn it over to Carrie.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our program today. I actually work with Brad. So Brad Timofeev is a managing partner at LeadPoint Digital, a digital marketing group right here in Roanoke. I thought I knew a lot about SEO and search advertising and search marketing until I met Brad. So if you can just glean one thing from what he has to say today, you are already going to feel smarter. He's been doing this for about 20 years. He's done search engine marketing programs for a variety of companies all over the country and has been working on the agency side for most of that time. He's a certified digital consultant. He's certified in Google AdWords, Google Analytics, Yelp, Yext, and more, and has a pool of knowledge about inbound marketing that makes him uniquely skilled to adapt to and apply new technology to pretty much anybody's web presence. So I'm going to let Brad take it over and lead you through his talk today. And as you have questions, please feel free to put them in the chat and I'll flag him, stop him, and get your questions answered too. So definitely make sure you get the most that you can from this and use this as an interactive platform. Thanks a lot. Take it away, Brad.
Thanks, Carrie. You already knocked one slide out for me, so that's great. So I appreciate everybody joining us today. My whole goal of this is to kind of lay the foundation for search engine marketing. That's more than search engine optimization or ads or remarketing digital ads, banner ads, all that stuff. So, I tend to get a little long-winded here, so I'm going to hope to wrap this presentation up with enough time to take questions at the end. So because I know that, please ask any questions in the chat window. Carrie will be monitoring that so she can interrupt us at any time and we can elaborate and answer some of those questions as we go through this presentation. So expectations, what we want to get out of this. So why search engine marketing? Why is it important? Why am I here today? Why do I need to pay attention to this and really understand the inner workings of it? What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some takeaways on 3 steps that you can do to generate revenue for your businesses or organizations today and getting you started on search engine marketing. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to share some local case studies with you. So anybody in the Roanoke region, Central Western Virginia, we have real case studies here that I'm going to share that implement these basics, the exact same things I'm going to show you today, and you can see the results that they're getting. And then I hope we have enough time for open discussion at the end. I'm going to work really hard to do that. So why search engine marketing? So before we jump into that, what's everybody's competence level of search engine marketing? 1 being a beginner and 5 being I'm an expert. I know exactly what I'm doing and have had success in this. If you can go ahead and just fill that out in the chat window there, so I can kind of cater towards that. Looks like a lot of middle of the road so far, 3s, 4s, 1s, 2s, all across the board. All right. So you're all going to make it challenging for me here to try to make sure that everybody gets something out of this. Your 1s and 2s, you're definitely going to walk away with something today. 3s and 4s, you'll walk away with something today. 5s, I hope we can find something to walk away with today. But as always, I'll put my contact information at the end of the slide. And anybody who knows me, I'm an open book. I'm fully transparent. I want to give you all the secrets, the tips, the tricks, not holding anything back. So why search engine marketing matters? So some of you are probably aware of a lot of this data already, all right? Studies show that between 70 and 80% of people start their research of a company online before ever visiting that small business, making a purchasing decision, or even picking up the phone and calling them. That's all done online. 82% of smartphone users use a search engine when looking for local businesses. We can all raise our hand to that, right? We're on that smartphone all the time. Anytime we need a phone number, an address, we got a question because we're in the middle of a debate with our friends and family, we go right to the search engines, and all these phones, they have tied in right to either Google or Bing to get those results for you. 93% of all online experiences begin with a search engine. So you can start doing the math in your head here. If I'm not showing up on the first page of that search engine, odds are my business or my information or my organization is not in the conversation. And another benefit to search engine marketing is it costs 62% less than outbound marketing, but it generates more than 3 times as many leads. So think about TV, billboards, radio, collateral, trade shows. Search engine marketing can go a lot further for you than those other typical traditional marketing tactics. So, you know, it seems expensive when you look at it, but when you actually look at the return on it, it's not too bad. So this quote right here sticks with me a lot, and I think it's 100% true. Search engine marketing is critically important to online businesses. You can spend every penny you have on a website, but it will all be for nothing if nobody knows your site is there. That goes for traditional marketing too. You know, if you trigger a search or somebody wants to learn more about childcare or tires or your new shop that you opened downtown or in Vinton or wherever you are, if they go and they type that in the search engine, they don't see you, that trust level goes down. So that's from a book called Get Rich Quick Online. So before we kind of jump into it, we have to understand what people do on the search engines. And there's only 4 things that they do. The first thing is they want to do something, which is make an online purchase or use an online software or tool. They're physically going to the search engines to do something. The second thing that search engines deliver is a go intent, which means somebody are looking for directions or a phone number. They're looking to contact you as a business. Yellow Pages is long gone, right? There's some of us on here that still know what that is, but you know, for some of you newcomers, that was the only way to contact a business. You had to pick up the phone, you had to go to the phone book, pick up the phone, dial a number, and talk to a sales rep. That is gone. That does not exist anymore. Odds are you've already researched companies online before you even grab a phone number or directions, and you're getting that phone number and directions online as well. The third thing that people do in search engines is they want to know something. So that's research, that's educational, that's informative. It's a curiosity type of search, right? And then the fourth thing they want to do is they want to entertain themselves. Watch, play, listen, really simple, right? We want to go listen to music. We want to watch videos on YouTube. We want to play games or Candy Crush or whatever it is. I think Candy Crush is pretty much gone. That's a bad example, but it's not the popular one anymore. So what are 3 steps to generate revenue? So the first thing to do is identify intent, right? So we just went over those 4 intents. So when we're looking at it, we know that consumers start their buyer's journey online or in a search engine. They're also ending their journey in a search engine. So you have point of initiation and you have point of closure right there, right? Those are the 2, and then you have everything in between, because that no intent, where you're going through your educational or discovery evaluation stages of your buyer's journey, right? So the search engines are super, super important, but you have to pick out intent, right? Not everything is going to fit for all those intents. So you want to be there when people are ready to buy. When people are ready to buy, that's typically your do and go intent. That generates the most leads. That's the most direct response, right? But before we can do all this, we got to understand the opportunities that are available in the search engine ranking pages. That's what SERP stands for, search engine ranking pages. So I tried to put this in a slide, but I'm going to abandon my slides here, and I'm going to go to the actual search results, and we're going to talk through the landscape of a search engine ranking page. Okay. Can everybody see my screen here for art frames? And it gives the search results. Shake your head. Yes, there we go. We can see it. Cool. So you hear a lot of terms like search engine optimization or search engine marketing or search engine ads or local listings or map listings or local profiles, right? Well, when we're talking about search engine marketing, there's a lot of terms that are thrown around out there. Search engine marketing is all of those things that I just mentioned. So when you do a search, depending on the search that you're doing, you're going to get a variation of these different types of results. What you see across the top here where my cursor is these are the ads, right? So that's paid placement. You're bidding on that keyword art frames, and you're paying for a click here. These impressions are free, okay? We're going to call that search engine advertising today. Sometimes you'll hear people call it search engine marketing. I don't think that's a good term for that, because this whole page is search engine marketing. These are specifically search engine ads, okay? Off to the right here, we have more ads, but they're more visually based. They're shopping ads, right? So if you have an e-commerce store or you sell product online, the only way you can get these ads to show up is to connect your e-commerce site with a Google Merchant Center. And then you advertise for those as well. Again, these are all free impressions. The only time somebody's going to get charged is if I click on these. As we scroll down the page, we see our first listing without ad next to it. Okay. That is an organic result, is what we call it, a natural listing. There's many names. Our industry likes to make up a whole bunch of terms, but it's natural, it's organic. That is 100% free. You can show up naturally there or organically. And that's primarily based on how optimized your website is. And we'll get more into that later. Down here, right below that, this is another organic ranking, but it has images in it. That's what we call a rich snippet, or you'll hear it as schema markup. Basically what that is you give the search engines data and says, this is a photo, or this is answering a question, right? And what it does is Google will take that information, or any search engine for that fact, and say, this is the best result for our searcher of this keyword. So we're going to show it in a unique format. So there's no control over this. All you can do is you can say that that we have this is this type of listing, and you can choose to show it this way, Google. We have images that show up here. All right. So all of your images on your website are indexable. Okay. That means that Google can crawl these. Any search engine can crawl these, and they can index them into their search engine results. But at the end of the day, search engines don't know what that picture is of. It's ones and zeros to a search engine. So what we have to do is we have to put title tags or alt tags describing what that picture is. And that's what helps you rank in here. The reason I chose this art frame keyword is because it has all these different types of search results, right? So here's the map listings where we get our little pins over here and the store information. That's a go intent, right? I'm looking for a phone number. I'm looking for an address to physically go to that location. These all rank separately from your website. Yes, there's some signals to your website that help you rank in here, but primarily those live on Google My Business, which is Google My Business is their brand name for their map listings. So making sure you have control of these listings and own them and make sure they're up to date with the most recent information and branded for your business is super important because that'll help you rank here. What Google doesn't want to do is show you listings that are incomplete and they don't have all the information because that's not valuable to the users that are searching that. We have more organic listings here. We have more shopping listings. Now notice there's not an ad here, right? These are naturally showing up in the search results. So again, if you got an e-commerce, you're selling a product online, by connecting your e-commerce store with a Google Merchant Center, your products will feed into the search results in this format or have the opportunity to feed into the search results in this format. Then we get our questions, right? Where we don't even have to go to the website and you can watch a video here or it'll answer the question directly. These are a form of rich snippets. So when you go through your website, you can identify and say, here's the question, Google, here's the answer from the content on your website, and it may show that. Now, what these questions are, is that's a form of no intent, right? It's educational, it's informative, it's research-based, it's curiosity-based, right? So as we go through these search result pages, you can see all different types of intent here, right? You got your go intent. People are looking to buy frames online, right? Purchase a product, do. More do, right? Here you can purchase actual frames on this website. Go. Here's some local frame shops that you can go to and visit and purchase locally. More do, shopping, and then we have our no. So we've almost hit every single one here. And even when you click through here, we got a video, that's watch. So we've hit all 4 of those intents on one term, right? So if I'm trying to rank for art frames, what I'm trying to do is, what is my intent? What do I want the user to do? Do I want them to buy a frame? Do I want to educate them? Do I want them to visit me in store or call me? We have to identify what our intent is first before we decide how we're going to go after that and how we're going to rank in this. So I'll pause real quick for any questions about the search results pages before we jump in. Is there any questions?
I'll ask the one that I always think that people ask that sometimes don't is, how can you ensure that you actually show up there?
You can't. You can't ensure anything, right? So it's a competitive space, all right? So the only way that you can ensure that you show for that keyword is by purchasing advertising. So one of the philosophies that I like to do is we put our clients into search engine marketing programs. A lot of people want to rank at the top free, right? I would love to rank at the top free, but at the end of the day, we know it's not free because there's time and effort that go into that, or you hire an agency to help you with that. So while you're trying to rank keywords naturally in the search results, that could take anywhere from instant results to sometimes 2 years. You know, it takes a long time to rank naturally because what you got to do is you got to build that trust with search engines. So what you want to do is you want to circumvent that process by dedicating a little bit of advertising budget to the search engine ads and target the same keywords that you want to rank for naturally. So I kind of explain it as like a teeter-totter, right? Or a seesaw. I don't know what everybody calls it down here. We call them teeter-totters in Ohio. But what you want to do is you want to start with your advertising budget real high on the high end, right? And you got your SEO down here on the end that's going down. And what you want to do is as you continue to rank, you want to lower your budget till that flip-flops, right? But what I recommend is that you really never get rid of a search engine advertising budget, because there's just some keywords that are so important to you, or search queries that are so important to you, that it's difficult for them to rank on your website. You know, there's an infinite number of search queries that are performed daily on your business, product, service, organization. And it's really impossible to rank for all of them. So you're always going to have that budget with that balance with search engine marketing of trying to rank for things naturally, and then targeting those keywords that you can't rank for naturally to try to get that instant results. Because what we know for a fact is that if you don't show on the first page of that search engine, and actually we're going to throw the first page out. It doesn't even matter if you're on the first page anymore, because people get lazier and lazier every single day. And sometimes it's not even good enough to be on the first page. You got to be at the top half of that first page. And when we were looking at those search engine results, what was the top half of that first page? There was 4 ads. And then there was more product ads off to the right. So really there was only room for 1 or 2 natural listings on there, right? So you got to rank number 1 or number 2 to be at the top half of a first page. And what we can do is we can thank mobile phones for that, right? Because Google changed their listings to be a single column format so they can fit better on a phone. So it's not that they're trying to get more revenue from us, but it's just that real estate is shrunk to a small screen. So therefore, if you're not ranking at the top of the page, you're not in the conversation. Let me swap my presentation.
Brad, I've got one more for you.
All right.
How much are other search engines used, and do you worry only about Google?
We only worry about Google because over 90% of the search market is controlled by Google and their products. Google makes up about 65% of the search volume on the internet. Google image search, which is a different type of search, but it's still a Google product, makes up another 15% of that. And then another 5 to 10% of that is YouTube. YouTube is a search engine, right? It's a search engine for videos. Those are all Google-owned products. So Google's algorithm is so advanced beyond Bing and Yahoo that if you were to say, hey, my users use Bing, well, I'm going to tell you that they probably don't. You just think that they do. And I could probably prove that through your Google Analytics accounts and your web statistics. Because if I go after that 7 to 8% of the market that uses Bing or DuckDuckGo or Yahoo, if anybody uses Yahoo still, that their algorithms are so far behind that you may rank very well there and you may do very well. But what you're going to do is you're going to hurt yourself in Google. And now 92% of that search market, you're not going to get that. You're going to get better volume in Google. So I always say focus on Google, and Bing and Yahoo always catch up. So what you're doing in Google, you'll usually see an effect 6 months to a year later, and you'll see those results increase in Bing and Yahoo as well. So the second step of implementation is keyword research and selection, all right? So we've identified our intent, and we either want to target do, go, no, or entertain. Most of the time it's going to be do or go, because that is direct response type of marketing. And when you're putting money into this, you want to see money out of it, right? Well, the best opportunity is to target do and go search intent keywords, because those people are further along in their buying cycle. They're in their conviction and action stages. So you want to be ranking there because it gives you the best opportunity to get a return on your investment. So when you're doing keyword research and selection, there's many keyword tools out there that you can utilize. I think Google.com or Google Ads Keyword Planner, and you can get there to google.com/ads, is still the best one out there, because it gives you the most relevant search volume. And also, if we're trying to optimize for Google and we're spending all of our time in Google, don't we want to use Google's data? I mean, there's a ton of other planners out there, and they can help refine your search or give you ideas. But at the end of the day, Google Ads Keyword Planner is probably the best one to perform your keyword research on. And that's a free tool. Now, if you're doing advertising in it, it gives you a little bit more data that's more accurate. If you're not a heavy advertiser in that, it will give you soft numbers and give you nice round numbers of estimates of how many times that search query is being searched per month in your particular region or wherever you're targeting it geographically. So what you want to do is you want to set that account up, and I went through all that already. So
while you're looking at that, I've got another question for you.
okay.
This one is for Google My Business. What can we do on our Google My Business pages that can push up our search or positions organically?
Hold that thought. We'll get to that at the end. I have that in here. So as you go through and you select your keywords and you research your keywords, what I recommend doing is physically typing those keywords into the search results and see what shows up. Is it do? Is it go? Is it no? Is it entertained? For example, I had a client that says, Brad, we want to rank #1 for the term slate. And I said, okay. I said, but I don't think that's a good idea because yeah, slate has a lot of search volume, but what shows up in the search results is the history of slate and the chemical makeup of slate. It's a very no intent. At the end of the day, client, you're trying to sell more landscaping slate chippings that you put around your yard. That is not an intent. Slate is, yeah, it's got a huge volume and people are interested in slate, but they're in their educational stages of slate and the composition makeup of all that. What I feel would be better is if you targeted landscaping slate or slate chippings or slate mulch. Yeah, it has a lower search volume, but those are people that are looking particularly for your product right there. And that's the keyword that we want to rank for because that's going to turn into more revenue for you as a business. So anytime you're going through your keyword research selection, and some of you that are more advanced in this, you may say, hold on, you're telling me I got to type in hundreds or thousands of keywords in the search engines to determine the intent? I'm saying, yeah, you do. If you really want to get maximum results out of it, you want to know the intent of every single search query that you're targeting, because that's going to enable you to optimize and maximize those results for those keywords that you're targeting. It also helps you, if you do want to rank for a no keyword, well, if it's no related, now you can see what's ranking well, and you can either mimic that or do better than that in terms of content to rank for those no keywords. So when you're selecting, you want to match intent, you want to make sure it's relevant to your business, product, or service, and you want to go after those higher search volumes. Some people will say, well, what about the longer tailed search queries, right? And if you're doing these things, you should naturally rank for those longer tail search queries. So a long tail search query is anybody who's searching for more than 4 to 5 words in a search, right? So Brad, you said landscaping slate. That's not a long tail keyword. It would be more like, I want landscaping stores that sell slate near me, right? That's a long tail keyword. Now, there's much fewer searches for that per month, but that one person that searches that long tail would possibly turn into that. So what I'm saying is go for a balance, right? You want some long tail keywords, but at the end of the day, volume is what's going to make you happy, right? It's going to make you happy. It's going to make your clients happy. And it's going to get you those better results. So I always say strive for the higher search volumes if it matches intent and if it's relevant. So setup and implementation, right? So when you're targeting keywords or when you're doing search engine marketing, that's the attention getter, right? It's an ad, whether it's natural, whether it's a map listing, whether it's a physical search engine text ad. That's going to get somebody's interest to click through. Once they click through, you got to tell them what you want them to do. You got to be as clear as possible and say, I want you to call me, or I want you to fill out this form, or I want you to buy this product. It has to be simple and have a clear call to action to them that has high contrast. Search engine advertising is going to get you there the fastest, as we talked about earlier, answering that question. Search retargeting is also an important strategy that involves the search engine rankings. Okay, so some of you here may heard of remarketing or retargeting. And for those that don't know, remarketing and retargeting are those banner ads that follow you around the internet when you're browsing, and it's that pair of shoes you were looking at, or it's that electronic device you were looking at, and people are targeting you with all these ads because they're aware, right? So there's two types of remarketing. There's domain remarketing, which is I've been to that website and they put me in a list and they're advertising to me that way. We're not talking about that today. That's different, but it's still a good quality tactic. We're talking about search engine remarketing, the second one. And what search engine remarketing is when people type in a search query related to you, but they don't interact with your website, or they don't target your, they don't see your search result pop up. What we can do is we can say that person that searched landscaping, slate mulch, is in market for this today, but they don't know about me yet because maybe my ad didn't show because my budget wasn't large enough, or I'm not ranking naturally. Well, what we can do is we can still target them throughout the internet and on the different websites that they do with that they visit with banner ads or image-based ads or video ads, trying to get them. And why is that a good strategy? Because it's typically cheaper. Banner ads or digital display ads are typically cheaper because there's a lot of, I guess, fraud in it for the most part. There's a lot of fake websites out there, and Google knows that, so they lower the cost of those ads. So they don't convert at a high rate like your text ads do at the top of the search results, but they still do convert. So that's a good way to get in front of your audience if you're not targeting, if you don't have a large enough budget to do search engine ads and you're not ranking naturally. Search engine retargeting is a good low-cost method to start getting you some movement there. Google Map listings, again, at the top of most results is those 3 pins, right? It goes the ads, then it typically goes to those map listings. That's the top half of the first page right there. That's the real estate. One thing that I've noticed over the past year and a half is Google Map listings statistics usage has gone through the roof. Most people are not even clicking through to visit your website anymore. They're getting all that information from your Google Map listings because you can add products, you can add services to it. It even acts as a little social media tool where you can put your posts up there, your specials, whatever it is. So you want to treat your Google Map listings as their own little website. So if you got one location and you got a website, well, now you got 2 websites. You got your location page, your map listings page, and you got your website. You should treat them equally. Local directories. So we're talking about search engine marketing, right? Well, Yelp is a search engine. YouTube is a search engine. Local websites, VBR, and things like that. Those are search engines for businesses. So you want to make sure that you're listed on those directories. Apple Maps. Apple Maps is not Google Maps, right? 49% of users use iPhones, right? They're tied to Apple Maps. That's not Google Map data. So you want to make sure you're listed there. So that's what I mean by other local directories. And then you have industry directories or aggregators of businesses in an industry. Those websites are search engines too. You want to make sure that you're listed there. And then you also want to make sure your profiles are complete as possible. We'll talk more about that when we get to those. And then manufacturer and supplier directories. So if I'm a furniture store, odds are I don't manufacture my own furniture. I'm reselling furniture of manufacturers. Well, all of those companies have dealer finders on their website. You want to make sure you're listed there. You want to make sure that profile is as complete as possible. And you want to make sure that you got a link over to your website so they can actually take action. So getting started. Any questions before I get in here? We'll talk about more strategy. Okay. So a couple slides ago, we talked about a clear website call to action. What does that mean? Well, like I said, I'm a firm believer in telling your visitors of your website exactly what you want them to do, whether that's call, visit, a form submission, live chat. And I have an example over here of one of our clients, Yancey Cat out of Georgia. They're the oldest Caterpillar dealer in the United States. And what you can see here is we have a handful of call to actions here. We got find a rep. That's done on purpose because the best way to purchase heavy machinery when you're purchasing $1 million machine is you probably want to talk to somebody. You're probably not buying that online. So what we want to do is we want to connect those people with their local reps. That's why it's like that. We also have hotlines, right? So as a dealership, they do parts, service, they do machine sales, rental sales, all those types of things. Well, if you're a rental customer of mine, or you already purchased one of our machines and you need service, I want you to be able to call that hotline number directly and not have to dig through it on the website. We also have our browsers, right? The people who are shopping. You can shop by the type of equipment that you want to narrow it down because there's over 500 different types of machines on here. And then you have your live chat. I got a quick question. I need to talk to a real person. And we actually put that in 2 areas on the website. So telling them exactly what you want them to do is super, super important. You got to have heavy contrast, right? So there's a design element into this, that where does your eye naturally gravitate towards? And you got to give yourself different tests. The squint test. If I squint, can I see exactly what you want me to do? Those types of things. And then the most important thing is making sure it's usable on all devices, phones, laptops, tablets, desktops. Most companies, 50% of your users are using a mobile device. So this is what it looks like on a desktop. But what does it look like on a mobile phone? And are those calls to action just as clear? Search engine advertising, right? This is the best way that we can get to the top of the search results right away. Set a monthly budget. Utilize that keyword planner. Target specific searches that you want to rank #1 for today. If you do a search for different keywords for your products or services, I mean, I challenge everybody to go do that today and type it in the search results and see what shows up. Are you there? If you're not there, you're losing opportunity as we speak. Right now, you're not even in the conversation. You got to show at the top half of that page if you want to make a difference. Now, as I mentioned, showing at the top of the page doesn't directly turn into leads or sales or anything like that, because you have to have a solid foundation. You have to have a clear call to action when they get to the website. You want to write engaging, incentivizing ads, right? So this example that I have over here, it's a Lowe's ad. In that ad, they boil it down to all the key points and all their key value props that they want to get across to you for buying concrete block, right? Delivered straight to your door. Get 5% off every day. Free consulting, curbside pickup. There's gift cards available. There's customer service available. Oh, they got great ratings already. There's a return policy. Oh, and here's some more guides on buying concrete blocks. So if I'm in my nose stages, I can get there. This ad targets everybody in those 4 intent. Well, 3 intent. 3 of the 4 intent is covered here, right? A concrete calculator. Oh, there's an online tool, right? Deal of the day. There's an incentive. Oh, here's your nearest location and here's when they're open today. So this is all tied in with an ad, right? It's very concise, it's engaging, it's incentivizing. It hits all the parts to it. Okay, so here's some additional search engine advertising resources. Down here on all my slides, I have a direct link where you can get access to these resources. So the keyword planner, there's a link directly towards that. The resources that I go through on this page, you can visit that and you can click through and interact with all those. There is a video on that page that is 5 tips to get the most out of your Google Ads budget. It's about a 38-minute presentation. And I think these 5 tips in there are very, very strong. They're very basic. They're 101, but it gets you up, it gets you going right away. Wordstream.com is also a good resource for search engine advertising. They really specialize in different strategies, tips, tricks. It's a free resource, right? They definitely have online tools that you can use. I don't use their tools because I still think that the native Google Keyword Planner and some other tools out there are good for this. But WordStream is really good from a knowledge perspective. They have a lot of helpful content on their website. If you're new to this, get trained, all right? Google has a free training program where you can get certified in Google Ads. And I tell everybody this, if you want to get certified, use it as an open book test, right? Open up a different browser. That's the best way that we learn, is forcing ourselves to read more information about it and finding those answers. So it's a good tools here to learn more about search engine advertising and help you get off the ground or continue to optimize this if you're already doing it. So search retargeting, that's another element that we talked about, right? This is a segment of Google Ads. So targeting those keywords that people are searching for, but they're not interacting with us. What we want to do is we want to follow them around the internet with these display ads, as I have in this picture right here. So I was looking at call tracking software and have a client that uses call tracking software. And what I get is I get all these ads for call tracking software called Invoca. There's ticket information in here, which is an ad. I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, unfortunately. And they are over here trying to sell me tickets to the next game, even though it's nowhere near here. There's more financing options. There's all this information out there of things that I look for regularly. And this whole page is targeted to me on my search history, even though I've never interacted with these. I've never interacted with Vivid Seats. I've never interacted with Invoca or Capital One. It's cost effective to search engine advertising, and we can deliver those ads everywhere. And it's all part of google.com/ads. So Google Ads, you go in there, you can set all this stuff up. Now, it's important to note that requires design skills, right? What's it take to create a good ad that captures your attention? So there's many resources available out there. But when you're deciding, okay, what size ads do I target? I see small ads, I see mobile ads, I see the big banner ads across the top here. You can see Invoca's really hitting me hard. Everywhere I go, they're targeting me. So here are the most popular ad sizes. This is what you would design your ads by. There's a Crello, that's a free do-it-yourself ad designer. So it gives you kind of some templates and stuff like that to get you started, and then you can brand those. There's Creative. Again, that's a paid, the do-it-yourself ad designer. That gives you access to a little more templates and makes your ads animated and fly in and out to capture people's attention. And then also the final option is just hire an agency if you don't have the design skills in-house to help you get these set up. Usually they got the experience, the knowledge to help you with those. So now getting into Google Map listings. So Carrie, what was that question about Google Maps again?
I'm getting it for you right now. So what can we do on our Google My Business page to push up our search position organically?
Okay. So first and foremost, for the beginners, navigate to google.com/business. And if you haven't claimed your local listings yet, go claim them. It gives you a simple verification process to get in there and get access to these so you can actually manage them. What I recommend is don't use your personal Google account. Set up a business Google account or an organization account that many people can access that. Because what you don't want to get into is, hey, I have access to this, but it's tied to my personal account, and you don't want to give people access to your personal account. Yeah, you can transition ownership, but it's a little, depending on your situation, it's a little complex. Depending on how savvy you are, it's a little complex to transition those. What you want to do is you want to type in your business name and claim it. You can claim it via postcard or phone call. Basically what it does is it shoots you over a verification code that you type in there, and it says, okay, you're the owner of this business. And what you want to do to increase your rankings there is update it with your logo, descriptions, hours, categorize yourself. So Google provides you a list of categories. Find the one that fits your organization or business best, or your products or services best, and then update that with photography. In addition, what you want to do is you want to add products and services. And if you service customers outside of your business location, type in the service areas that you service. You can do it by county, city, state. There's many ways to do that. What you also want to do, so this is kind of getting into the question of how do I increase my rankings there? You want to post to it. So Google My Business works as kind of a mini social media tool as well, where you can put posts up there. Whether you have a promotion going on or you launched a new product or service, you can post those through that. And that all implements into your different listings. Sometimes when you do a search result, you'll get a card off to the right with all your business information. You'll see those posts show up there. So I don't have this in my presentation here, but we're going to talk about it anyways. I only got 10 minutes too. I'm not going to have enough time to get through all this. So what you can do is there's really three things that Google looks at when they're ranking you. The first thing is your name, address, phone number, right? Google doesn't know what your name of your business is. They don't know what your phone number is. They don't know what your address is. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that that is accurate and consistent across all local directories, not only Google, because that's all that Google can look at. And what they're looking for is that your name shows exactly how it does on other websites, that your address shows exactly how it does on other websites, that your phone number shows exactly how it does. So if you have call tracking numbers or anything like that on your website, you're at risk because Google doesn't know if it has the right phone number or not. So what you really want to do is you want to stay with your own local phone number, and you want to use that. You want to make sure that name, address, phone number shows up on your website clearly. You want to make sure that it's in Bing. You want to make sure that it's in Yahoo, Yelp, and Apple Maps, because that's what Google's looking at, right? So that'll help you. The second thing is it's looking at your website signal. So if you have your website that's optimized for a particular keyword, Google is smart enough to know that that is your website as well, right? So it's looking at a combination of your local map listings page and your website to help you rank there. And then you have the uncontrollables, which is proximity of the search, right? So if I'm in Vinton and I sell art frames in Cave Spring on the opposite side of town, odds are you're probably not, you're going to have a harder time ranking for that if there's art frame stores close, more art frame stores closer in Vinton. So that proximity of search comes into play. That's uncontrollable. And then your reviews, right? Well, how do you control somebody leaving you a good review? My best advice there is always make reviews part of your process, your business process. After somebody interacts with you, get them to leave a review, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. You know, and if you're getting bad reviews, well, then you know where you need to improve on to get better reviews. If you're getting indifferent reviews, you see the opportunity for improvement. And if you're getting good reviews, it's that verification that it's working. So we talked about like all the mainstream ones, right? Well, also look at local directories and complete your local profiles there. So these are things like your chamber listings, your Better Business Bureau listing, American Advertising Federation members, right? Your listings are on this website. Make sure that that information is complete as possible and they have that. Make sure there's a link on there if those sources will let you link back to their websites. That'll all help you out. Roanoke Times, Virginia's Blue Ridge, you know, anywhere that there is a directory, make sure that you're listed there. Local are good, industry are good, right? So industries, associations, and aggregators, they all have listings too. So a good way to figure out, okay, well, what industry websites are out there? Search for your industry name and type directory after it, or search your industry name or search products and services, associations, aggregators, directories, and you can find those really easily. So over here, I have an example of self-storage space. There's a website out there that aggregates all self-storage space throughout the US, and it's called Sparefoot. There's a map listing on here. There's a listing here where people visit this website. Not only is it a local directory link, but this is also a search engine too, right? If it aggregates all data of all self-storage space in the region, people are using this. This is a source that is a search engine that can direct traffic back to your website. So you want to add, claim, populate all those profiles with logos, hours, contact information. Here's some other examples, choosept.com. That's a physical therapy, tire review, auction websites, health grades, thomas.net, Angie's List. Another tactic too is if you're if you sell manufacturer or are a dealer of suppliers, right? You can get visitors from those websites of the companies that you resell their products for, so look for their dealer directories and make sure that you're listed on there. Make sure your website links on there. So here's an example of Boxley's. Examples are Goodyear, Stickley, Yingling, Keystone, Hardscapes, Perkin Engines, Humphrey Valves. Any type of manufacturer, there's an opportunity there to get visitors to your website. Yeah, this is Keystone Hardscapes, right? It's a manufacturer of pavers and retaining walls. But at the end of the day, Boxley resells Keystone Hardscapes, right? So this is a little search engine right here, this little local directory. Make sure you're listed, make sure it's complete. So I'm going to stop here because we're getting into local case studies now, and I got 6 minutes left. I want to make sure everybody has time to ask any questions and I can answer those. My slides are on leadpointdigital.com/AAF. You can review those local case studies there and see real results of what people are experiencing locally just by applying these exact things that I'm explaining today.
Thank you, Brad. I've got a question for you. Can you talk just a bit about tracking results and how the phasing out of internet cookies might impact the next year?
So data is going more, it's kind of a loaded question a little bit because this conversation's been in the circulation for probably 5 years and it hasn't happened yet. But what you want to do is you want to connect yourself with a data provider that is cookie free, and there's many of them out there, and usually they're proprietary or they're aggregators of data, and you want to run your ads or things like that through there. So Google Ads, for example, search engine ads, they will update their tools and their software to be cookie free, and you'll be able to advertise there. So because they're a direct source anyways, they're not a third-party tool that gathers cookie information that way. They have access to all sorts of data. An add-on to that answer to that question too is at the end of the day, whether people know it or not, you actually like providing your data to advertisers, because if you didn't, you would get a whole bunch of ads. You would still get the ads, but they wouldn't be targeted towards you. At the end of the day, you're not going to avoid advertising. You're going to always have it. So you might as well have it targeted towards you. And Google's in the business of making money, right? They want to make money. So if they start showing ads that aren't relevant to you after you've been used to this for 15, 20 years, you're going to be unsatisfied with their product and you're going to go elsewhere. It puts them at risk. So my advice is to just focus on things that work, which is making sure you're offering a good product, a good service, you have great customer service, you're priced competitively, and focus on the things you can control and don't focus on the things that you can't control, because technology will catch up and it'll evolve very slowly, or when it does, if it happens sharply, all the tools will be there for you to continue doing what you're doing today.
All right,
Any
thank
questions?
you, Brad, so much for joining us this afternoon. It looks like Angie's computer crashed, so I'm gonna outro you here. If you have any additional questions, Brad's contact information is on the screen. You can reach out to him anytime. I promise he's super easy to talk to and knows a ton about this stuff all around. I also encourage all of you to save the date for our Valentine's event on February 14th. You can find that online at aafroanoke.org/events. And make sure to save the date for the awards gala on March 4th. Even if you didn't enter anything in the awards this year, it's a great opportunity to come out and see the work of both professionals and students and just celebrate advertising and marketing industry as a whole. We definitely hope to see you there. If you need anything, feel free to reach out to any member of our board or committees, and we can definitely help you. And huge thanks again to Brad for sharing your knowledge and time with us today. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, everybody. Sorry we couldn't get through the end of it. Like Carrie said, if you have any questions, I'm an open book. My contact information's on there, phone number, email. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to have a conversation, help you through whatever issues you're having. I'm completely transparent. And I think we're all done. So everybody have a good day.